Walk through any major developed city, and you'll find climate control, high-speed internet, and guarded streets. This environment is so reliable that we can spend our days online debating complex social ideals, like the necessity of total gender independence. This seamless reliability creates a collective blind spot. Because we flip a switch for light and walk to a store for food, we often overlook the massive physical foundation that makes those daily debates possible. This diagram compares two ways of looking at our modern social movements. The first is a simple linear timeline of moral progress. The second is a vertical dependency structure, proposing that modern feminism is a luxury belief, a theory that can only exist when a massive physical foundation is already supporting it. In this model, the ideology sits at the peak, relying entirely on the structure beneath it. The foundation holds the ideology in place, while simultaneously serving as an active shield against the chaotic, destructive forces of nature pressing in from the outside. To see if our modern ideals can actually stand on their own, we have to run a subtractive thought experiment. We need to see what happens when that shield is removed. We'll start with a modern, functioning society and strip away its core pillars one by one to see what remains. First, we remove the communication platform. The data centers go dark, and the internet networks, built and maintained by male engineers, vanish. Next, the physical grid goes. The power plants stop. The massive road networks, constructed and repaired through heavy, male-dominated physical labor, quickly fall into decay. Then we sever the food supply. The dangerous jobs in agriculture, processing, and long-haul freight sectors, where men perform nearly all high-risk manual labor, cease to function. Now we remove local protection. We erase the police force and the legal frameworks, both built by men to protect individual rights and enforce civil order. Finally, the military dissolves, the male-driven defense force required to keep the nation's borders physically secure from external threats. The removal of these foundations triggers an immediate collapse. Society plunges out of civilization and back into the state of nature. The world left behind is defined by starvation and the total absence of running water. Daily life is reduced to raw survival. In this environment, the rules of engagement shift. Survival is no longer a matter of intellectual negotiation. It is dictated by brute physical strength and the capacity for violence. Modern education provides no leverage here. A woman with a gender studies degree cannot compete for resources against a man with an axe. Nature aggressively filters out any belief that doesn't aid physical survival. In this state, theories of gender independence evaporate within 24 hours. This dynamic isn't just theoretical. We see it play out across the geographical realities of the modern world. Feminist ideology is absent in active war zones, in famines, and in collapsing nations where survival is the only priority. This scatterplot shows a direct inverse correlation between environmental hostility and luxury beliefs. These ideas only thrive where physical survival is solved by others. This reveals a core paradox. The ideological equality node requires and is entirely encased by a protective patriarchal infrastructure. Because the military, police, and industrial grid protect us so effectively, we can afford the luxury of pretending the men who built them are unnecessary. Ideals of equality and independence can only survive inside the walls of civilization. Outside those walls, nature always wins.